Hello again, and thanks for staying with us. Once again, Deputy President Paul Mashatile is expected to deliver the keynote address at the inaugural Youth Investment Indaba. It's being hosted in conjunction with the National Youth Development Agency and comes at a time, of course, when South Africa is still dealing with staggering youth unemployment figures. Speaking now is the Deputy Minister for Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities. That's Steve Letsike. Let's listen in.
It's not only about numbers. It is about changing the lived experiences of being young in South Africa. It's about the young woman in Kuruman who dreams of running her own agribusiness. The young man in Umlazi who wants to run a solar technician plant. The young person with disability in Mthatha who seeks to equal access in the digital tool sector. These are not outliers. They are the future we must invest in. So as government, we recognize the power of partnership through frameworks such as the District Development Model, the Public Procurement Act, the Women's Economic Empowerment Bill. We are ensuring that inclusion is built in the DNA of our economic system. Additionally, government, through various departments, have set targets to supporting youth-led initiatives. But we also call on the private sector, academia, and civil society to join hands to making youth employment, youth empowerment a shared national mission, not as a segmented responsibility. The entrepreneurs that we have must be supported wholeheartedly in all sectors: manufacturing, hospitality, fashion, arts, mining, waste, and all other economies that we can participate. So this Indaba, therefore, let it be remembered not for its speeches, but for its commitment. Let us make this turning point of investment to become intentional, where inclusion makes and becomes measurable, where young people become authors of their own developmental story. So this really gives me a great honor to welcome the keynote speaker. I'm introducing a leader whose life embodies the very spirit of youth activism and public service as well. His Excellency, Deputy President Paul Mashatile, is not only a Deputy President to the Republic of South Africa. He's a son of the liberation movement, a visionary who has always believed that the strength of our democracy lies in its own young people. We know how many positions that he has held, but I want to bring you closer to understanding that he's not going to talk about youth because of anything, but his own activism is rooted, and his history is rooted in youth activism. The son of Alexandra, who led in the Alexandra Youth Congress and the UDF at that time. So we see his leadership growing from those grounds, from those communities, but also emerging politically and working as a young person at the time, but coming in and leading throughout his life in various portfolios at the provincial level, also at national level. Colleagues, join me as we look forward to hearing the message on behalf of our government, on behalf of the people of South Africa, that is delivered in this investment gathering for young people, delivered by His Excellency, Mr. Paul Mashatile. May you all rise and welcome His Excellency.
Next stage.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Thank you, Program Director. And let me also thank our Deputy Minister for the introduction. Minister in the Presidency responsible for women, youth, and people with disabilities, Honorable Steve Letsike. Thank you so much for that introduction. Let me also recognize Honorable MEC for Finance and Economic Development, Lebogang Maile, who was standing in for the Premier of Gauteng, Honorable Panyaza Lusufi, but had to leave because they've got an emergency that they are currently dealing with. I also want to recognize the NYDA Executive Deputy Chairperson, Bonga Makanya, and YDA board members represented by Ms. Tembisile Mahua, got it right, and all the leadership across our various public institutions, the NYDA, Brand SA, NEF, DBSA, and IDC. Let me also welcome our Miss South Africa, Kawe Mazaleni, who's also accompanied by the Miss South Africa first runner-up, Miss Luyanda Zuma. Both of them new from the box. We are happy that one of your first priorities was to do this. We are so happy about that. Shows your commitment to young people. I also said earlier to Miss South Africa that I've noticed that she's very committed to supporting young children, young people struggling with autism as one of her programs. And I said to her, my wife and I are actually patrons of a family foundation that support children with autism. So we're looking forward to working with you. I also want to take this opportunity to recognize the president of the ANC Youth League, who has graced this occasion, Comrade Colin Malachi. Young people in the room and all youth, the future of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, to all of you, a very good morning. A very good morning.
Good morning.
Let me begin by thanking the NYDA team for creating such an incredible and vibrant platform. I also appreciate being considered to be part of this Youth Investment Indaba, which is a transformative moment aimed at impacting the lives of young people. I truly appreciate this moment because it affords me an opportunity to engage with you, listen to your thoughts, and understand your needs as young people. You all represent the future of our land, both as today's leaders, but also leaders of tomorrow. I have consistently expressed these sentiments that as leaders, we cannot talk and formulate policies regarding young people without them. We can't formulate policies and come with program for young people without young people. They have to be there. They have to participate. Young people deserve a seat at the table to ensure that the issues of youth are not just, but are adequately addressed. The youth voice inside workplaces, in civic engagements and in the public-private sectors needs to be elevated by policies, programs, and interventions that are impactful. The sub-theme, Forging a National Compact, is pertinent to our efforts to establish an inclusive society with youth development at its center. Forging a national compact should be a deliberate and collaborative process that is intended to unite various sectors of our society. We should all work towards shared objectives, particularly to address significant social or economic challenges that our nation is currently facing. This Indaba must then provide a definitive course of action to address our challenges. We should develop practical solutions to the challenges that young people face, such as high unemployment, unequal education access, and high rates of substance abuse and criminality. We should equally be concerned about school violence. We have seen recently, even on TV, bullying in schooling and so on. We really need to be concerned about that. But we must also be worried about technological access. There is disparity there that we must deal with, and also the skills mismatch between education and employment. Many young people finish their studies in colleges and universities and they become unemployed graduates. We can't have that. It's important that as they go through schooling, colleges and universities, we make sure that they undertake courses that will make them employable, courses that are relevant to what the market needs. We must acknowledge that the crisis of youth unemployment is severe, particularly amongst young people not in employment, not in education, or even training, what we refer to as the NEET cohort. They are not in employment, not in education and training. According to Stats SA, its first quarter release of 2025, 34% of all youth aged 15 to 24 years, which is more than 3.5 million young people, are disconnected from both the labor market and the education system. This means that a substantial cohort of young South Africans is estranged from the education and job sectors, confronting hazards such as social isolation and poverty. Among other things, these statistics should prompt us to reconsider our role in mobilizing various stakeholders and social partners to develop skills that meet the needs of the South African economy. Government and the private sector must adopt a proactive stance and address these disparities between labor supply and demand. We must create a labor market that will effectively create employment opportunities for young people, including those with no skills. The Human Resource Development Council, which is an agency of government which the President has asked me to lead, can play a crucial role in addressing this crisis by improving workforce skills, creating jobs, and fostering economic growth. For those of you who may not have heard about the HRDC, it involves labor, business, NGOs, and government departments, but also universities and so on. So it's a very good platform to deal with the issue of skills in the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we do this, we will ensure that this is an entrenched challenge that directly calls for innovation and leadership. As the HRDC, we made it our goal to mitigate poverty, inequality, and unemployment by facilitating platforms for social partners to act.
All right, so there you are. Good afternoon, good morning once again. Paul Mashatile there speaking at the Houghton Hotel. That's where the National Youth Development Agency is holding the inaugural Youth Investment Summit. The Deputy President giving the keynote address saying that young people feel estranged from the jobs market. And it's not just his sentiment, by the way. It's reflected in the statistics. In the first quarter of the year, we were told that 46% of people between the ages and 15 and 34 were without jobs. For a younger cohort, that's between 15 and 24 years, the unemployment rate stands at a staggering 62%. Once again, this is seen as a ticking time bomb. Many a political commentator have mentioned that, and that's why there's a real hope that he'll strike the right chords as part of this keynote address to shift the dial. Steve Letsiko, the Deputy Minister for Youth, Women and Persons with Disabilities, saying that the summit should be remembered not for the speeches, but for the action that is likely to be taken. I think many people would certainly share that sentiment.